Assalamu alaikum children. Another lesson we have to begin today is about Allama Iqbal. Known personality, we are fully aware with this character. Allama Iqbal, I hope you all have opened up your book on page 37. Allama Iqbal, Muhammad Iqbal, the poet of the East, was born in Sialkot, a town in the Punjab, on 9th November 1877. He received his early education in his hometown. What is a hometown? The town where he was born and brought up, that is Sialkot. In 1895, he went to Government College, Lahore. He passed his MA in 1899 from the University of the Punjab. In the same year, that is in 1895, he was appointed Professor of Arabic at the Oriental College, Lahore. He held this job till 1905. In that year, he left for England for higher studies. In London, he received a law degree. In 1908, he was awarded a degree of PhD by Munich University for his work in Persian philosophy. That is why he is also known as Dr. Muhammad Iqbal. Children, in the very first paragraph, we have been introduced to the personality of Allama Iqbal. He was born in Sialkot, took his early education in the same place, went to Lahore, Government Lahore College, did his masters in 1899, and he remained as a professor in the same college up till 1905. Later, he traveled to England to do his law degree, and besides this, he also received a PhD degree by Munich University, Germany. And what did he do? He did his PhD in Persian philosophy, and that is why he has been given the title of Doctor. Now, in the second stanza, we are going to study more about his achievements. Allama Iqbal is generally known as a great poet. He was, no doubt, that means there's no doubt about it, we are sure, he was a great poet. But poetry was only one of his many accomplishments, many qualities, many things that he could do. Poetry is one of them. He was, besides being a poet, what else? He was well versed in philosophy, not only of East but also Western. He pointed out the defects in some of the philosophical systems of the West. He devoted means gave a large portion of his time. He devoted a great part of his life to the study of Islam. He also took an active part in politics. He worked for the Muslims of South Asia with great courage. He was elected a member of the Punjab Legislative Council in 1926 and held that office till 1929. He did not seek re-election. He was elected president of the Punjab branch of the All India Muslim League and held the post till his death. In 1930, he presided over the Allahabad meeting of the All India Muslim League. It was on this historic occasion memorable occasion that he made a definite demand for a separate Muslim state in South Asia. In his presidential address, Dr. Iqbal said, India is a continent of human groups belonging to different races, speaking different languages, and believing in different religions. Their behavior is not governed by a common race feeling. These groups are all separate nations. The principle of European democracy cannot be applied to India without reorganizing the fact of different groups. The Muslim demand to create a Muslim India within India is in no way without justice. For my part, I would like to go one step forward. I would like to see Punjab Northwest Frontier Province, that is NWFP, Sindh and Balochistan united under a single Muslim state. The Muslims are anxious, keen to have a separate state because they fear the Hindu majority, which they believe will not allow Muslims to develop freely. This demand shocked both the Hindus and the British alike. They both opposed it. Now, children, in this paragraph, we have been told that Allama Iqbal was a versatile personality. He was not only a poet, he was a philosopher who mastered the philosophy of East and West both. He was also a politician, and for the cause of the Muslims, he did a great job. In his Allahabad address, for the first time, he made a demand for a separate state for the Muslims of South Asia. The reason that he gave was that there were different groups of people living in South Asia. There were Hindus, there were Muslims, there were Christians, all different groups belonging to different religions. So their mode of life, their culture was quite different. They could not be ruled all in one and similar manner. He felt that a demand to create a Muslim India in India was not a bad thought. It was not unjust. And he specifically said that what he wished that Punjab, NWFP, Sindh and Balochistan should be united under a single Muslim state. And he was afraid that in India, where there were Hindu majority, Muslims would not be given justice, will not be free to develop. That is why he thought a demand for a separate state was very, very essential. This was the first time that a demand was made for a separate Indian Muslim state. Dr. Iqbal did not stop at this. All his efforts were now directed towards the achievement of this goal. What goal are we talking about? The goal of achieving a separate state for Muslims. Now all his attention was diverted towards this goal. In May 1937, Dr. Iqbal wrote a letter to the Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah. In this letter, he discussed in detail the problems of Indian Muslims. He once again advised that only the creation of a separate Muslim state could solve the problems, and said to the Qaid, "Don't you think it's the time for such a demand has already arrived?" On 21st June 1937, he again wrote to the Quaid-e-Azam, "A separate federal state of Muslim provinces formed on the lines I have proposed is the only way by which we can have a peaceful India and save Muslims from the rule of non-Muslims." In this paragraph, we are told that Dr. Iqbal, after suggesting the thought of having a separate homeland for the Muslims, did not stop. He kept on working on this goal. He kept on writing recurrently again and again to Quaid-e-Azam and reminded him that a separate federal state of Muslim provinces is the only solution to the problems of Muslims. The Muslims awoke from their sleep as a result of Iqbal's efforts. They turned over a new leaf. What do we mean by this? They changed their outlook. They changed their thoughts. Now they all wanted a separate Muslim state. The Muslim League, representing the whole of Muslim India, met in Lahore and passed a resolution on 23rd March 1940, demanding a separate state for the Muslims of India. This resolution is now known as the Pakistan Resolution. From this time onward, the Muslims never looked back. They put their heart and soul into the struggle for Pakistan. They put their heart and soul means they did everything within their means, and by all in their sincere feelings, with their sincere thoughts, they carried on working hard. They put their heart and soul into the struggle for Pakistan. They succeeded in their struggle on 14th August 1947. Pakistan appeared on the map of the world. Iqbal died in 1938 and could not see the actual creation of Pakistan, but he had played a major part in its creation. The Quaid-e-Azam praised Iqbal's role in a message on his death. To me, he was a friend, guide and philosopher, and during the darkest moments through which the Muslim League had to go, he stood like a rock. He believed that faith in Islam made the Indian Muslims one nation, separate and apart from the Hindus. He strongly believed that in a united India, where the Hindu majority would rule the country, the Muslims could not develop freely. He had a great love for Islam and was completely devoted to it. Both his prose and poetry reflect this devotion. Devotion, love. He always advised Muslims to remain true to their faith. To their faith means to their belief. In his Allahabad address, he said, "I have learnt one lesson from the history of Muslims. At difficult moments in their history, it is Islam that has saved Muslims and not Muslims that have saved Islam. If today you put your faith in Islam, you will become strong and united once again and save yourself from complete destruction." All right, children, this is your written work. Everything is absolutely crystal clear. The chapter very clearly gives us the detail about Allama Iqbal's personality in every aspect, as a poet, as a politician, and as a philosopher. All his achievements are right in front of us. Now I want you to do comprehension and composition question 1 and 2 yourself this time. And these are your fill in the blanks and MCQs. Remember children, I would like to remind you one thing, that every lesson that you are doing with me, you need to read them thoroughly, because these are only the samples that I have given you of fill in the blanks and MCQs. You never know, in the examination, maybe the MCQ could be turned into a fill in the blank, or a fill in the blank may be turned into MCQs. So what you need to actually do is to read the lessons thoroughly. That's it. Children, we have done quite a few of our lessons. Now I want you to do a little bit of language. The 2 topics that I am giving you for practice is already you know the background of these concepts. All you have to do is work these out. Fill in the blanks with suitable articles. Positions. Apart from these 2 exercises of article and preposition, I want you to do this written work for language. Write an essay. I have given you the word bank. You can use these words if you need to. The second topic is problems of Karachi city. You are all Karachiites and you know the problems of this city very well. I have written a note below which says essays should be of 100 to 150 words. And last of all, you have to write a letter to your friend telling him or her about your sports day that you had.